Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome all of you once again to today's session. So today we have reached the 7th chapter of the Gita Wisdom series. 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So before we begin the 7th chapter, a few summary points that we discussed in the previous sessions so far. Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. There are totally 18 chapters and there are 3 parts of 6 chapters each. The first 6 chapters is what we have discussed so far. In the first 6 chapters, Lord Krishna talks about the basics, about who we are, about what is our relationship with Krishna, and how to attain that relationship, how to become established in the process of realizing our relationship with Krishna. And those processes that Krishna talks about, they are called as yoga. Yoga means to connect, to link. Yoga is the science of our eternal relationship with Krishna, as Krishna is explained in the 4th chapter. And there are different types of yogas that Krishna has explained. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, that is also called dhyana yoga. And finally, Krishna has concluded that the highest yogi is one who is always established in meditating on the transcendental form of Krishna with great faith. So this is the last shloka of the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham adgate antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. So Krishna is saying, and of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That means there may be karma yogis, there may be jnana yogis, there may be dhyana yogis. All these yogis are no doubt connected with Krishna. They are no doubt united with Krishna, but most intimately united with Krishna is the bhakti yogi. So how do we know the word bhakti is not used by Krishna in this shloka? So how do we know it is Krishna is indicating bhakti yogi? Because Krishna is using the root word of the bhakti. Word bhakti is bhaja. Shraddhavan bhajate. Bhajate. So bhaja is the root word for bhakti. In Sanskrit, every word has got a root word. Dhatu it is called. So for bhakti, the root is bhaja. Bhaja means to serve. To serve someone, that is called bhaja. There are 2 words, bhajana and yajana. Yajana means to worship. Bhajana means to serve. There is a difference between the 2. You worship somebody because you want some benefit from that person. So that in that case the word yajana applies. But you serve somebody when you are not expecting anything from him, but you are serving that person for his pleasure, to satisfy him. That is service. In that case the word bhajana is used. So worshipping Krishna with some motives, that is not the quality of the highest yogi. Worshipping Krishna just because he is my master. I am his eternal servant. Therefore I have to serve him. With this intention, when we are worshipping Krishna, that is called pure devotional service. That is called pure bhakti. And Krishna says, one who is established in such a pure devotional service with great faith, who is always engaged in Krishna's service, loving service, he is most intimately united with Krishna. That means he is actually the real yogi. So real yogi is not one who simply does tapasya to get some material powers. Real yogi is one who simply lovingly renders service to Krishna to please him. So this is the meaning of the highest perfection of yoga. So first 6 chapters Krishna talked about different types of yoga practices, and he gave a conclusion that the highest yogi is bhakti yogi, one who is always engaged in my loving devotional service. Now from the 7th chapter towards till the middle 6 chapters, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These 12 chapters, they deal majorly or only with this pure devotional service. With devotional service. Because first 6 chapter Krishna has given synopsis of all the yoga systems, and he has concluded that the highest is Bhakti Yoga. So in the middle 6 chapters, Krishna deals more deeply. He talks more about how to become a devotee of Krishna and what all a devotee does, what he should do, what he should not do, and what are the qualities of a devotee which Krishna becomes attracted to. All these are discussed in detail in the middle 6 chapters. So Prabhupada explains, just like in any book, so there is the, what is this called? Cover of the book. This is one cover and this is the other cover, isn't it? So in between the two covers we have the content, the subject of the book, isn't it? So likewise the first 6 chapters is one cover of Bhagavad Gita. The last 6 chapters are also another cover. The main crux of the Bhagavad Gita is in the middle 6 chapters. Chapters 7 to 12. The middle 6 chapters are the core message of the Bhagavad Gita. So now we are entering into the 7th chapter. The 7th chapter is called Knowledge of the Absolute. Knowledge of the Absolute. So Krishna is the absolute truth, and everything else is dependent on him. That is what is explained in this chapter. So absolute means there are 2 types of truths, absolute truth and relative truth. What is absolute truth? That truth which exists independently. That truth which is not dependent on any other truth for its existence. That is called absolute truth. All other truths are dependent on this absolute truth. Therefore, they are all called relative truths. Okay? So, we are living in a world of relative truth. Actually. Right? Suppose if you ask, what is the time now? Now somebody sees the time and says, now the time is 7:21 p.m. Is this absolute truth? Why it is relative truth? No, not depend on watch. Huh? Yeah. At a particular time zone in which we are living currently, at this position, in this longitude, the time is 7:21. At this place. That means this is not an independently existing truth. The time is 7:21 p.m. This is not an independent truth. It is dependent on other truths. If the place is Bangalore city, if in India, if the place is this, then it is 7:21 p.m. Correct? In some other place it will be something else now. Now only, if you call somebody in the US and ask what is the time, he will say something else. So therefore, it is not absolute truth. It is relative truth. Right? Suppose you say, my name is such and such. Is this absolute truth? My name is such and such. Is this absolute truth? Yes, no. Why? How? Huh?
It will change from birth to birth.
Okay. Yeah. So right now your name is such and such. Right now you have got this body. You have a male body, you have a female body, and that body is identified with some name. Correct? So we already studied about this in the 2nd chapter. Krishna is saying that body keeps changing, but you are the same. Correct? So body keeps changing from one lifetime to another lifetime, body is changing. So your names are also changing. In your past life, you must have got some other name. Suppose somebody's name now is Roshan. In the past life, he may be some Rahman, right? And in the next life, he may be something else, Rahmatullah Khan. Isn't it? So name is changing. Correct? So based on your material circumstance, based on which family you are born in, and so many other circumstances, your name is given to you. So it is not absolute, it is relative. Right? Prabhupada gives another example. Suppose you are thirsty and you keep chanting, water, water, water. Will your thirst go away? Why? Because the name water and the object water are two different things. They are not same. It is not same. There is no experience of drinking water when you say the name water. The same water is called by different people in different ways. Somebody calls, Sujay will call it as Jol, right? Somebody will call it as Pani. Somebody will call Neeru. Somebody will say Neelu, Telugu. Somebody else will say H2O. Yeah, IISc people will say H2O. Correct? So, they are different things. But none of these gives you the experience of drinking water. So, name water is different. Object water is different. Now, both are pasted together to identify, that's all. Right? There is no connection between, you can call it something else also. Still it will do the same work. Instead of calling water, you can call it something else. You can call it something else also. But it is just an identification tag. So we are living in a world of relative names. Correct? So, but we are talking about absolute truth. Krishna is the absolute truth. Why Krishna is the absolute truth? For any truth to be called as absolute truth, two conditions have to be satisfied. The first condition is, as we already discussed, it should not be dependent on any other truth. The second condition is that it must be the same, unchanging in all three phases of time, past, present and future. Time should not affect it. Then it is called absolute truth. For example, I may say, I am young man. Is this absolute truth? No. Because earlier I was not a young man. After some number of years I will not remain a young man anymore. It is checked by time. It is influenced by time. Correct? Therefore it is a relative truth. Correct? So, this chapter makes us understand that don't simply break your head for relative truths. Be interested in absolute truth. Right? So, now relative truth, somebody will pass a comment at you. Oh, you are not at all beautiful, you are not handsome. And we become so affected by that. Why we are so much affected? Because we are thinking that this is absolute truth. This is not actually absolute truth, this is relative truth. Okay, for that person I did not appear beautiful or handsome, it's okay. Correct? Somebody else may say I am beautiful or handsome. Or anyway, this body is not my real identity. Isn't it? Body is not my real identity. Even if they pass comments, they are passing comment on the body which is temporary, which is subject to change. Right? Once upon a time, there were so many beautiful ladies, heroines in the Bollywood industry. Right? They were the most wanted heroines. Okay? But now nobody even thinks about them in their dream. They were called as dream girls once upon a time. Now nobody wants to think about them even in their dream. So that means what? With time, beauty, material beauty fades away. Correct? So therefore we should not be interested in material relative truths. That is the meaning of asatoma satgamaya. Don't be attached to asat. Asat means temporary, that which is relative. Become attached to sat, that which is eternal, that which is permanent. So the knowledge about Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is actually absolute truth. Now that is why we chant, anything connected with Krishna is of the same nature as Krishna, because Krishna is absolute. That is why we chant the name of Krishna. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we chant the name of Krishna, actually we are directly connecting with Krishna, because there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. That is not the case with water and the object water. You are understanding the difference. So when you chant the name of Krishna, you are actually touching Krishna directly. There is no difference. This is called Advaya Jnana. Advaya. There is no duality. Krishna and Krishna's name both are same. Krishna, thinking about Krishna and seeing the form of Krishna, both are same. There is no difference. Now this is the interesting thing that is revealed in this chapter, knowledge of the absolute. So in the very first shloka, Krishna talks about, please hear about me. This chapter begins with Maya Sakta Manaha. Maya Sakta Manaha. Asakti means attachment. Correct? So Krishna is saying, please hear about me, how to become attached to me. Till now, Krishna was saying, become detached. Right? Don't be attached to the results. Oh Arjuna, you should fight the war with detachment. Sukha dukhe sami krutva labha labho jaya jayo. He said, you should not be overpowered by sukha, dukkha, victory, loss, all these things. So you should be detached. He even gave the example of tortoise in the second chapter, if you remember. Right? Kurmo ganiva sarvashaha. Krishna said, a perfect yogi is like a kurma, like a tortoise. What will he do? As soon as there are sense objects, he will withdraw his senses in, just like the tortoise withdraws its limbs into the shell. Correct? So you should be like that, be detached from this world. But here, 7th chapter is beginning with become attached. To whom? Maya Saktaha. Become attached to me. Very, very important. Right? If you don't become attached to Krishna, it is not possible for us to become detached from relative truth. Only when you transfer your attachment from relative truth to the absolute truth, you are actually real yogi. If you are only dabbling with relative truths, with so much attachment for those relative truths, you cannot come to the spiritual perfection. Therefore, Krishna is beginning this chapter by saying, Maya Sakta Manaha. You make your mind attached to me and you hear carefully what I am speaking now. Right? Tat Shrunu. So the first step in Bhakti Yoga is Shravanam. Shravana means hearing about Krishna. Unless you hear from Krishna from a bona fide source, you will not become attached to Krishna. Now somebody may say, it is hearing about Krishna. So can I hear? There are so many sources I can hear about Krishna. Right? There are so many YouTube channels, so many people speak about Krishna. Right? Can I go and hear anybody and everybody like that? So it is explained in the scriptures that just like you should not drink the milk which is touched by a serpent, like that we should not hear Harikatha from Avaishnava Mukodgirnam. Avaishnava means one who is not developed asakti for Krishna, one who has not developed attachment firmly for Krishna. From such a person, even if you hear about Krishna, it will have opposite effect. Sarpo chishta yato payaha. Just like drinking milk which is touched by a serpent. Therefore, we must be very careful whom to hear from, whom not to hear from. Even though it may be about Bhagavad Gita only, but if it is not heard from the right source, the person who has developed Maya Asakta Manaha, Krishna Asakta Manaha, if he has not developed, we should not hear. That is why hearing from a Parampara Acharya is very, very important. The Parampara system ensures that the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is passed down as it is, both in letter and spirit. And by hearing from such a Parampara bona fide Acharya, we will also become Asaktaha, Maya Asakta Mana. We will also become attached to Krishna. That is the litmus test. You may hear from so many people, but if you hear from an Acharya like Prabhupada, who has developed 10% attachment for Krishna, you will also develop 10% attachment for Krishna. This is a proven fact. You can test and see. But if you hear from somebody who is professionally a very nice speaker, but in his personal life he is not applying the principles of Bhagavad Gita, but he is very great scholar, Sanskrit scholar, he speaks very nicely, but there is no achar in his life, there is only prachar, no achar, then such a hearing is actually poisonous. It will not help us develop attachment for Krishna. So therefore, Shrunu, Shravanam is very important to develop attachment for Krishna. And Madashrayaha, there are very important words in this shloka. Maya Sakta Manappartha Yogam Yunjat Madashrayaha. I'm going to speak to you about that yogi. The last chapter I told, no, that you should develop full faith in me and become attached to me, then you will become greatest yogi. So about that yoga system I'm going to speak now. So please hear attentively. Yatha jnāsyasi tashrunu. So you, by hearing this, asamshayam samagram, you will become free from all doubts. You will be established in real knowledge. And then Krishna says that I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and nominal, by knowing which there shall remain nothing further to be known. So Krishna is making such a statement. Just by hearing this, there will be nothing more for you to learn. This is the epitome of knowledge. This is the highest knowledge. There is nothing more than this. No author can dare to say like this in any book. Whatever I have said is the highest. Beyond this, there is nothing. All that you are supposed to know, you will know. If you just listen to what I am saying. No author can say this. Only the Supreme Lord can say this. So, these middle 7 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita are especially meant for devotees. If we are not devotees, we will not be able to understand these middle 7 chapters. They remain a mystery. Right? This is meant for devotees. Bhagavad Gita is actually meant for devotees because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Bhagavan to his bhakta, to his devotee. And Krishna clearly says, because you are my friend, Shishyas, you are my friend, and also you are my devotee. Right? Therefore, you will be able to understand the mystery of this great science. So, Srila Prabhupada therefore writes in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is, that before reading this book, at least theoretically, we should accept that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And then only go ahead to read. At least theoretically, we should accept. Practical realization will come when you actually hear more and when we practice bhakti, chanting in the association of devotees. But at least theoretically we should accept that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Only then we will be able to understand and appreciate what Krishna is saying. Otherwise, we will think that, oh, Krishna is boasting himself. See, Krishna is talking about himself so much. Yeah, Krishna is speaking so mercifully about himself. Otherwise, how will we know? If Krishna doesn't come and reveal himself to us, how will we know about him? Is it possible? Then we will sit, we will speculate. That speculative knowledge is not perfect knowledge. So what Krishna is speaking is first class, first hand knowledge. So therefore it is perfect knowledge. Right? So, and Krishna immediately says in the 3rd shloka, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So knowing Krishna is very, very rare. Not easy. Why? Because knowing Krishna is not through the process of our material senses. Suppose if I give you, we remember, you must have all done this in your chemistry lab. We have a qualitative analysis of salt, right? So some salt will be given to you, right? You have to now conduct some tests and find out what is the positive ion and what is the negative ion present in it. What is the salt? You have to find out. So you analyze it. How you subject that material that is given to you, the salt, to a qualitative analysis. Correct? So now, first let's say you may burn it in fire. So if it is burning with this kind of flame, maybe there are sodium ion, maybe there is calcium, potassium ion, like that. So finally you come to a conclusion based on your test, based on your analysis, right? So that is a material way of knowing a material object. To know a material object, you can follow a material process. But Krishna is not such a material personality. To know him, how to know him? It is said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhave grahya. Through your indriyas, through your senses, you will never be able to understand Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's leela. It is not possible. You cannot do a qualitative analysis. Oh, what is this material? Let me do this test, let me do that test, and let me find out. No, that's not the way to know Krishna. Sevo mukhe jihvadam swayameva spuratyadaha. Then what is the way to know Krishna? Not through our senses, but sevo mukhe. You begin to render seva to Krishna. Beginning with jihva, beginning with your tongue, you have to start serving Krishna. With your tongue you can serve Krishna. How? By chanting his holy names. By tasting prasadam that is offered to him. These two activities anyone can do. Tongue has got two functions. To produce sound, to speak, and also to taste food. Now both of these can be employed in service of Krishna. By chanting his holy name and by tasting Krishna prasadam. So when we start engaging all our senses in the service of Krishna, beginning with our tongue, one by one we should engage all senses. Tongue is the most difficult sense to control. That's why first you should engage your tongue. You should tell your tongue, when you open your mouth, when you vibrate, only talk about Krishna. And only taste Krishna prasadam, nothing else. If these two things you are able to follow, make your tongue committed to this lifetime, then Krishna will reveal himself to you. Krishna will reveal. Swayameva spuratyadaha. You cannot know Krishna by your own endeavors, but by your service, you can please Krishna, and when Krishna is pleased, he will reveal himself to you. Just like, now it is night, Diwali night, Amavasya night. Suppose somebody says, I want to see sun now in the sky. I want to see the sun, show me sun. No, you cannot see sun now. Whatever efforts you put now in this place, you cannot see sun. You just wait. Morning, sun will reveal himself. He will reveal. When sun reveals himself to you, you don't have to go and search. You don't have to do any analysis, paralysis, nothing. He is visible there, right there. He is visible. So, like that, when Krishna is pleased with you, he will reveal himself to you, then you can know Krishna. That's the only way. You cannot force Krishna to reveal himself. Oh Krishna, now only you should show me yourself. No, not possible. Right? 5,000 years ago, Krishna was personally present on this planet, but not everyone could understand that he is the Supreme Lord. Even though Krishna was present in front of him. Krishna went as a peace messenger to the court of Dhritarashtra before the battle of Kurukshetra. Foolish Duryodhana said, you let me put him in prison house. God has come to your house. He is telling something for your good, and you are so foolish, you are not listening. Forget about listening to him. You want to put him in jail. So that means if Krishna is coming in front of you, if you are not having qualification, you will not be able to recognize him. So many times people say, no, show me God, I believe. Show me, in front of me. Zinda dikhao, like this live you show me. No, even if Krishna comes in front of you, if you are not qualified, you will not be able to understand him. Therefore, knowing Krishna is not a material process. First, we have to purify all our senses by engaging in our senses in his seva. And the first step in seva is Shravanam, then chanting, Kirtanam. Use your tongue to chant. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Nicely you should do. And more we should do. Our senses are so polluted, contaminated from many lifetimes. We have engaged them only in sense enjoyment. Therefore, our senses have become insensitive to recognize Krishna. We have become insensitive. Even though we have senses, we have become insensitive. There is one nice song in Kannada, composed by one of the great poets, devotee poets, Dasaru, in Dasa Sampradaya. So he says, oh God, oh Lord, I don't know what disease I am suffering from. My eyes are not taking pleasure in seeing your beautiful form in the temple. My ears are not taking pleasure in hearing about your instructions. My legs don't take pleasure in walking towards your temple. My hands are not taking pleasure in doing seva to you and your devotees. My tongue is not relishing the tulsi which is offered to your lotus feet. So like this, all my senses are actually diseased. Oh Deva Dhanvantri, oh Lord who appeared as Dhanvantri. Yesterday was Dhanteras. Dhanvantari Trayodashi. The appearance of Dhanvantari, one of the incarnations of the Lord. So Dhanvantari is the one who inaugurated the system of Ayurvedic medicine. He is the incarnation of the Lord himself. And he not only cures our material disease through herbs, through Ayurveda, he also cures our disease of the soul. What is the disease of the soul? These are the symptoms. Eyes are not taking pleasure in seeing Krishna. These are all symptoms of the soul's disease. Bhavaroga. We all have got Bhavaroga. What are the symptoms? Like if somebody says, I have COVID, what are the symptoms? Like this they'll ask, right? Oh, I have, what is that? Chest pain, or I have difficulty in breathing. These are all the symptoms. Taste is not there. I'm not able to recognize taste like this. Correct, no? Smell also people were not recognizing during COVID. Correct? Some people lost all this. So we are also having this Bhavaroga. What is that? No pleasure in Krishna. Asakti is not in Krishna. Asakti in something else. Right? These are all symptoms. We all have got these symptoms. Everyone has got? Not taking pleasure in hearing about Krishna. Not taking pleasure in glorifying Krishna. So it is not easy. That's why Krishna is saying, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of thousands and thousands of people, very few people are actually interested to attain perfection in life, spiritual perfection. And of those who have actually attained spiritual perfection, even among those perfected beings, hardly one knows me properly, in truth, tattvataha, Krishna is saying. So knowing Krishna is not easy, but by rendering seva, Krishna can reveal himself to us. Now very interesting, 4th verse onwards, Krishna starts describing his various energies. Bhumi rapo analo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara mitiyame bhinna prakriti ashtada. So Krishna is saying there are eight of my energies, separated energies. They are all material energies. What are they? Bhumi, earth. Apaha, water. Analaha, fire. Vayuhu, air. Kham, ether, space. And then Manaha, mind. Buddhi, intelligence. And Ahankara, false ego. These are my 8 energies. Where are all these 8 energies present? These 8, where are they present? In the material world, it is also present in your body. Correct? Our body is also a miniature Brahmanda. Whatever is there in the Brahmanda is there in our Pindanda also. This is called Pindanda. Pindanda means miniature Brahman. Our body is also made up of these 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and ego. Krishna is saying these are all my energies. So we are having this body. Whose body is this? Who is the proprietor of this body? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, I am asking. Vinay. Who's? Krishna's. Sure. 100%. Because by the looks, by you had some doubts, I thought. So Krishna is revealing himself. He is saying all these 5 elements, gross elements and 3 subtle elements, they are my energies. And then, what about the soul? Apareya vitastvanya prakritim vidhi me para jiva bhutam mahabhavo yayedat bharyate jagat. The jiva, the soul is also mine only. But that belongs to another category of energy called superior energy. These 8 elements are inferior energy. Right? And the soul, each one of us is soul, right? The spiritual spark. We are also part of Krishna. Krishna's spiritual energy, superior energy. And then Krishna says, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both its origin and dissolution. Whatever you see in this world, both categories, material and spiritual, Krishna is the origin, Krishna is the source, and Krishna is also the cause of its dissolution. And then Krishna says, 7th shloka, Mattaha parataram na anyat. There is no truth superior to me. So Krishna is declaring it here. There is no truth superior to me. Everything is resting on me, just like pearls are strung on a thread. If you take a necklace, so in the necklace there are so many pearls. All the pearls are resting on the thread. Without the thread, can the necklace be there? Can the pearls just be there in the air? It cannot be there. It needs some solid support. And that support is thread. So Krishna is saying, I am the thread upon which everything else is resting. That means He is the absolute truth. He is the rest. He is the absolute truth on which all other relative truths are depending. Without that absolute truth, all the relative truths will perish. Just like a building, it has to stand on a foundation. If the foundation is not there, can the building stand? It will collapse. Now you may say foundation is not visible, therefore I don't believe foundation exists. This is the logic of atheists. Atheists say, no, God is not visible, therefore there is no God. The foundation of this building is also not visible. Can you say there is no foundation? That is illogical. You are not able to see currently. If you had come during the time of making of this building, then you would have seen actually that they have spent a lot of time making a foundation. Taller the building, deeper the foundation, isn't it? So in the same way, how can you say that this entire world which is existing is without foundation? There is foundation. He may be invisible currently, and He is invisible because we don't want to see Him. We don't want to see Him, therefore He is invisible. But if you desire to see Him, He will become visible to you. Only through bhakti, He can become visible to you. Bhakti is a qualification. So therefore Krishna is saying everything is resting on me, just like pearls are strung on a thread. So for example, let's say now after your IISc, whatever you are doing currently, you will join some company to work. And boss, your immediate boss, gives you a cabin, a workspace. He gives you all that is required for you to work. He will give you a laptop, He will give you all other accessories that are required. And He says 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. you are supposed to work at this place. And this is the work. He defines also what are your roles and responsibilities. He defines and He says by end of every day, before you log off, you should now submit to me what is the progress of work. Right? And at the end of every month, you will get your salary also credited to your account. Okay? Now suppose now the boss says this and he goes away somewhere. He has some other work to attend. Now 9 to 5 you are sitting in your workspace, in your office, What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to do what your boss is saying. Why? Because boss is the one who is providing for you, no? He has given you all facilities. He has given you laptop. He has given you Wi-Fi connection. He has given you whatever is required. Everything he has given you, space to sit. Everything is given. But instead of doing the boss's work, if you start playing video game in your laptop, 9 to 5. Oh, I'm very fond of video games, so I have to play because this is very. You should. They say that whatever you should do, whatever you love to do. So therefore, I love to play video games. Therefore, I'll in my office 9 to 5 in my workspace with this nice laptop, all the Wi-Fi connection. I'll play video games. I'll play some games. Is that acceptable? What do you say? Chidambar, is it acceptable? He's thinking, maybe, yeah. If it is your company, maybe it is acceptable. You are the boss. But if you don't have any other boss above you, then it is okay. Even if you are the boss of somebody, there will be some boss above you. You are answerable to him. Then it is not acceptable. Correct? Now, why is Krishna saying this? Bhumirapo nalo vayu khamano buddhire, which is this bhumiya, all this is mine. And your body is mine. You also are mine. What does it mean? What is the conclusion of this? What is the conclusion? Just like in the office, in the official hours, 9 to 5, using the office space and office, whatever has been provided to you, facilities, you cannot do work which you want to do, but you have to do work which boss has given you. In the same way, we belong to Krishna. Therefore, we have to do the work what Krishna has given us. Correct? But now we have forgotten. We are doing our own work. We are playing video game. We are not doing what Krishna wants us to do. That is why Krishna is now establishing. Now he is saying all this. In the 11th chapter, he will say why he is saying all this. 11th chapter, last shloka is saying, Mat karma kran. Do my work. What are you doing? I have given you all Wi-Fi, I have given you laptop, I have given you this nice body, human body. Nice vision I have given you. Nice intelligence I have given you. It is my intelligence I have given you. Mind I have given you to think. I have given you all these things. Nice body. I have given you everything. And you also, soul also are mine only. Therefore you have to do my work. What are you doing? Busy. In this world everybody says, no, I am busy. I am busy. Can you please read Bhagavad Gita? No, I am busy. Can you please chant mantra? No, I am busy. Hey, what are you busy with? You are serving some other master. Real master you are not serving. That is why you are not happy. If real master, boss's instructions you follow nicely, boss will give you hike in salary. He will give you promotion also. Any new project comes, he will put your name first. He will recommend your name. Correct? But if you are simply sitting, monthly getting in the office, not working for the boss, you are doing your own thing, boss will be thinking how to fire him. So, one of the main reasons why we are suffering in this material world, why there is misery in our life, because we are not doing Krishna's work. We don't know that we have to work for Krishna. This is the problem. But we are all busy. We are all doing so much of work, but Krishna is not in the picture at all. That is why Krishna is revealing this knowledge. Everything I am giving you, mind it. Now he is giving a list, what all Krishna is giving to all of us. He is giving that list one by one. He is saying, he says, Prasoham apsu kaunteya, water you are drinking every day, that I have given. Taste of water is coming from me. Prabhasmi shashishuryayo, every day you are enjoying nice sunshine, moonshine, is coming from me. But even one day Krishna doesn't send solar bill, lunar bill. He is not sending. If you don't pay electricity bill, cut. Correct, ISKCON will come and cut. But Krishna is, even though, see, he is not putting it, big board is not putting, this belongs to me every day, you are enjoying the sunshine, moonshine, mine only this. He is not putting that board, but he is revealing it here. See, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, all the Vedic knowledge which begins with Omkara, it is me only. And then Shabda K, you are hearing nicely, no? Shabda. I am speaking and the waves of sound are traveling in the medium. It is, vibrating your eardrums. It is recognized that sound in your brain. That sound which is traveling, it is me only. It is because of me. And then Paurusham Nrushu. In every human being there is some ability. That ability is me only. We are all very, proud of our ability, no? I can speak well, I can sing well, I can dance, I can do this, I can do that, I have muscles. All this, whatever ability you have, it is me. It is me only. Please understand. Punyo Gandha Prithivyam Cha. I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives. I am the penance of the ascetics. Right? And then he says, I am the original seed of all existence. I am the intelligence of the intelligent. Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. Albert Einstein, very intelligent. But whose intelligence? Krishna's intelligence. Right? Krishna's intelligence. And I am the promise of all powerful men. Women also. Men and women. I am the Tejas Tejasvinam Aham. I am the Tejas, promise, power of every powerful person. Balam Balavatam Chaham. I am the strength. Balam means here physical strength. I am the physical strength of every person. And then I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Dharma aviruddha kapus. Right? And then he says, all states of being are manifested by my energy. Sarvam Krishnamayam Jagat. Whatever you are seeing is Krishna's energy only. Everything is coming from Krishna. See, actually, when we understand this properly, our perception about this world will change. Everywhere we see how I can enjoy, what I can get, that is material vision. But if you see everywhere, a pure devotee, whenever he sees anything, he sees, oh, this all so nicely Krishna has created. Krishna, they glorify Krishna. Nobody can match Krishna's creation. Krishna has created so nicely. Right? And then he says, I am in one sense everything, Krishna is saying, but I am independent. Right? I am not under the modes of this material nature. We are all under the modes of the material nature. We will talk about modes of material nature later in 14th chapter. But as of now, we should know there are three modes which control our life: goodness, passion, ignorance, sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. These three gunas are controlling all of us, but Krishna is beyond these three gunas. And if we surrender to Krishna, we can also become free from the influence of these three gunas. And then Krishna says, why people don't know me? That also Krishna is saying. Because they are deluded by the three modes. The three modes condition us to act and think in a certain way. And because of this influence, we are not able to understand Krishna. These three gunas are actually manifestation of Maya. So Krishna is saying, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamevaye Prapatyante Tanstataiva Bhajamyaha. Why people are not able to know me? Because they are under the influence of my Maya. But if you actually surrender to me, I can release you from my Maya. This Krishna is saying. So this is the first place in the entire Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is directly saying surrender to me. Right? Why we have to surrender to Him? Because we belong to Him. Everything belongs to Him only. Our abilities are coming from Him only. Surrendering to Him means I should do what He wants me to do. That's all. So in one line, if you want to know what is Bhagavad Gita, just do what Krishna wants you to do. That's all. That is Bhagavad Gita. Right? So Krishna is saying that the whole world doesn't know me because it is under the influence of my Maya. Now somebody may ask why Krishna has put us under Maya. If Krishna loves us so much, then why He has put us under Maya? Now because the reason for that is we are all having something called free will. And with this free will, we have desired that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. Now you can enjoy independent of Krishna only under the influence of Maya. Maya makes you think that you are independent. Maya makes you think that you are enjoying. LG, life's good. Maya makes you think that life is good. So Maya affects us by covering our real knowledge. Right? Maya is not Krishna. Maya is agent of Krishna. Maya is energy of Krishna. Maya, she is the superintendent of this prison called material world. She is also called Durga. Durga means fort. Fort, something which you cannot enter easily, something which you cannot get out easily. That's fort. Durga. So, she is the mistress of this fort. Right? But if you surrender to Krishna, then you can become free from Maya's influence. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, what is the meaning of that? Oh Lord, right now I am under the influence of your Maya. Please free me from this influence and engage me in your service. That is the meaning of Hare Krishna. We are begging the Lord, please engage me in your seva. That's the meaning. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, that should be the mood. The mood should be, Lord, please engage me in your seva. Right now, I am engaged in Maya's seva. Maya is making a fool of me. And I don't even know. Right? Therefore I should please engage me in your service. Now then Krishna says, now Krishna said, to surrender to me, then I will release you from Maya. Then Krishna is saying, 4 types of people do not surrender to me, and 4 types of people surrender to me. That means everything is already predestined, is it? No. We can use our free will. You can choose to surrender to Krishna. But there are 4 kinds of people who never use their free will to surrender to Krishna. Who are those 4 kinds of people? Those who are grossly foolish. Foolish people. Mudha. Mudha means foolish. And then Naradhana, the lowest among mankind. Those whose lifestyle is very abominable. Lowest among mankind. Naradhama. Nara Adhama. Adhama means lowest. And Mayaya Apahrita Jnana. Those whose knowledge is stolen away by Maya. And then Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. Those who follow a demoniac nature of life, atheistic nature of life. Such people, they are called Dushkrutinaha. They never surrender to me. Krishna says, no? The purpose of his appearance. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita. Dushkrita means those who are miscreants. Miscreants never surrender to me. 4 kinds of miscreants do not surrender to me. Right? And then 4 kinds of people surrender to me. That also Krishna says. Chaturvida bhajante. Again the word bhaja is come. Bhajante means to render service. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukrutino Arjuna. These are opposite of dushkrutina. They are called sukrutina. Those who are pious. Who are those 4? Artaha. Artha means the one who is distressed, having some problem in life. Many people who have problem in life, they come to God, say, God, please release me from problem. Right? If they are pious, they will come. If they are impious, dushkrutina, even if they have problem, they will not come to Krishna. They say, I will deal it with myself. Right? So, Artha means distressed. Then Jignasu. Jignasu means inquisitive. Those who want to know about the truth. Search, seekers. And then Artharthi, those who want wealth. They also come to Krishna. And Jnani, one who is already situated in knowledge. He's called Jnani. These 4 kinds of people come to Krishna. Right? Now all of us have come to Krishna. We fall into one of these 4 categories, definitely. That you can know yourself, which category you have come. Whether you are arthi means distress, jignasu means inquisitive, and then jnani means knowledge. That is very rare. And we will be jignasu mostly, not jnani. Jnani knows that Krishna is all in all. He is already engaged in pure devotional service. And then artharthi, seeker of wealth, some material facilities. Maybe if I chant, I'll get a better job. Maybe if I chant, my material karma will improve. There's no wrong. It's not wrong to come through for these reasons. But after we come to Krishna consciousness, we should not remain in that. We have to graduate, come to the next level. We have to understand. And Krishna says of the four people, Jnani is the best because he's always engaged in pure devotional service. Jnani. Right? So, we will continue the same chapter in the next session also. There are many more things to discuss. But one interesting thing is, Krishna appeared in this material world. He appeared in the prison house of Kamsa to free us from the prison house of this material world. That is his compassion. That is why Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. He is the ocean of mercy. Because we are all bound by the shackles of the three modes of material nature. In the prison house of Maya, Krishna appeared in a prison house. That is Kamsa's prison house. Right? That is his compassion. But if we Arjuna, we will make Krishna as our chariot driver. That means what? His instruction should be the guiding force in our life. Then you can win all kinds of wars, all kinds of difficulties. You can come out of. Not like Duryodhana, we would always choose Krishna over everything else. That is an intelligent choice. So by carefully studying, understanding this Bhagavad Gita, we can actually come to that conclusion that Krishna is my all in all. I have to simply surrender to him. I have to work for him. So that is the conclusion that we will be able to come to if we properly study this Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, my request to you is, of course, you are attending the Bhagavad Gita sessions every week, but if you can read this every day, at least few pages a day, this particular book, Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada, which is the most authoritative understanding of Bhagavad Gita. It's coming in the Parampara system. If you study this properly, you will become a devotee. You will actually come to surrender to Krishna. That is the power of this book. Right? So, and that is actually the purpose of Bhagavad Gita also. Right? So we'll close. Any questions anyone has?
Some level we tend to have the texts that we are in search how is it that we determine that the object from Supreme Lord is actually Krishna? How do we identify it?
Those are Parampara Acharyas, not by our trial and error method.
But somewhere even Acharyas themselves would have gone
The
through
knowledge is bestowed upon them by the Supreme Lord Himself. It is revealed. Knowledge is revealed.
how do we even understand that? Because
Have you read Bhagavad Gita as it is?
I don't understand.
But you're reading.
Reading, yes. Comprehending. then
But you're reading, right?
Just reading.
Yeah. So read. You're chanting. It will be revealed to you. So it is not a Mahabharata says Tarko apratishta shrutayo vibhinna. Simply by tarka, by logical argument, you cannot understand the absolute truth. You cannot come to the same conclusion. Nor by having scholarly knowledge, Sanskrit knowledge, I can understand the absolute truth. No. By tarka, you cannot understand. You follow the process of seva. Krishna will reveal to you himself. That's what I told. So now we are going to attend. Today is Deepavali. Wish you all a happy Krishna conscious Deepavali once again. May the lamp of love and devotion always enlighten our lives. So we will all be attending the Damodara Arati. Arati is going to start now shortly. So we will all attend the Damodara Arati, offer ghee lamp. Then after that you can all chant one round and then have prasadam. Okay? So I request all of you to please go. Don't stand here in the balcony. You have to go down, attend the Damodara Arati, and you can sing the Damodara Ashtaka and offer lamp. Okay? So Santosh will give you the prasadam coupons. So after the Arati, they can all come here, chant one round, and then take them for prasadam. Okay? Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.